Yo, what's up, boys? I'm back, and this time I just wanted to talk a bit about Sunbreak. It's finally arrived, and I've been playing the hell out of it, honestly. It's pretty much the only thing I've done since the 30th of July, of June, in fact, sorry, we're in July. Yeah, and I don't know, I just thought about saying some stuff, getting my thoughts out. Now that I've played enough to have some concrete opinions, because I do think that some of the stuff I thought when I first started the fucking game is quite different from now. Either opinions that I saw from others that I agreed and now I don't anymore, vice versa, self-made conclusions. So just wanted to talk about it a bit. But yeah, with Sunbreak finally arriving, it's been I haven't had much of a life, and honestly the game is surprising. It surprised me quite a bit actually, but starting, I don't know what impressed me the most. I'd say was the overall combat flow with the new mechanics and whatnot. I definitely feel like they've made this much more fluid. Weapons feel faster, inputs feel better for the most part, of course. Of course, Charge Blade they have some fucked up inputs. Thankfully they're already looking into it, but I can't ask for much. Charge Blade is much better. And upon trying so many weapons, like 5, it's around how many weapons I tend to play, most of them actually feel much better with the new switch skills and the new silk binds that they gave us, albeit too late for some of them, but they really changed how you play the weapons. For example, with Charge Blade, I love the new firing pin because it kind of allows a new playstyle, which is sword and shield mixed into AEDs, so you can play like that versus faster monsters. I do get quite a bit from that. I love just smashing, putting pins everywhere, and then just to an AED see all those numbers. It's so satisfying, provides a different playstyle. I'd say even the same with Switch Axe, the new counter is so good, so fun. I'm still getting used to it. I still get smashed quite a lot, but I'm getting there, and it just, the new switch skills gave us different ways to play the weapons, which I do appreciate a lot. And the monsters, they are actually quite aggressive this time. We really need the counters that we have for most of the weapons, because the monsters are just so much faster. At least I do feel like they're faster, especially when you get into afflicted monsters. They're crazy. Some of them move so much faster, like Rachna. Like that fucking spider just zips everywhere in Master Rank. And even Rajang, that boy doesn't stop still for 1 fucking second. It's so difficult to get him with SADs that I actually was quite surprised at the revamp of the monsters. I do feel like some of them got a bit worse. I'd say Teostra got even worse. I already did not like him in Rise, but now in Sunbreak I really dislike the new move, and he spams as always. Valstrax was actually surprising to me. I also did not like him that much, because what happened is some monsters now are fast at doing their strong moves. In Rise, at least, when they were going to do their stronger moves, you knew of it, of the tails and how the monster behaved, so you could prepare. But for example, with Valstrax, his laser beam just comes out so fast, and then he does a follow-up with another laser beam. I tried guarding it with guard up 3 and I took like 70-80% of my health, so I do have that complaint of some monsters are a bit too fast for how powerful they are. I think there should be a middle for this, but some of them are a bit up there, which I guess they did this to counter us, the hunters, which are so much stronger, but at the same time, I just think some of them are a bit too borked, but we still have ways to deal with them. It's still, overall, for example, I do think Furious Regen, not even regular Furious, is super good because he's extremely strong, he's fast, but you can punish him. That's the ideal monster, you can prepare for it and punish, but with some of the other ones it's, I don't know, it's a bit rough. But yeah, overall I'm really liking the combat a bit more, the AI seems better, we have more tools, so combats tend to be better, and honestly they aren't that much longer. We'll get a bit more into it later, but yeah. As for the gear and the decorations, overall armor system, I mean, everyone expected it just to be even more bloated, and that's what happened. Now we have level 4 decos, which, unlike World, they can only give you 2 stats or 3 of a certain skill. There's no mixed decos, so that's nice, I guess. That would have been even crazier, but as for these decorations, I mean, they're nice. I really like being able to insert, for example, guard up 2 or stamina surge 2 on a slot. I feel like they did a good job. I also really like how we don't have attack boost plus, critical eye plus. That would be fucking crazy, imagine. So, I mean, that will probably come in title updates. But as of right now, I really like how the skills that have level 4 decos aren't too busted, so they feel good to use. It feels like you're not dishing out insane damage just from decos alone. The gear, yes, it's bloated, but I don't know, I feel like it's what you'd expect here. In the early game I was seeing just armors with 4 skills, and this is also because they're doing this thing with Rise where they give skills for both Gunner and Blade Master. That's why you see 4 skills, because one of them may be from Gunner. They may have Spread Up or Pierce Up or Ammo Up, Spare Shot. So that's why we have some bloated skills, but overall for the skills that you actually want, I feel like the number hasn't increased that much from Rise. Decoration slots are actually a bit tamer than I expected. I was really thinking we'd see 4-4-3, 4-3-3 or some crazy shit like that. But once again, that may come in title updates, who knows. But as of right now, I feel like it's decently balanced. I just don't think, compared to Rise, I don't think we have that many more skills. We may have more, or we may be able to max out some other skills like attack boost, which was only able to be maxed out in some specific instances, in some specific builds. Now I feel like you can get to attack boost 4 on a lot more builds, which is also much more valuable because of the percentage. But I never felt, well, actually a bit, but for the most part like 90-95% of the game, especially through progression, I never really felt that I was lacking some serious skill. This may also be because we have decorations, so if I needed a specific skill I could just insert it with decorations most of the time. So I think that's fine. I think they did a good job at balancing the progression throughout the game. Sometimes it did feel a bit meh with the weapons. You'd unlock new weapons that would be kind of worse, but I guess that's with every Monster Hunter game, I'd say, so overall I really liked it. Then the mechanics in these cases, switch skill swap, the wyvern riding, the new endemic life, I really liked it. This is mostly because of the newfound difficulty. The game is definitely harder than before. I really thought they nailed the difficulty in progression, and through the end game could be a bit harder, but it's hard enough. But throughout the game I think the balancing was really well done. Some monsters hit a bit too hard, just a bit, but that's because of Spirit Birds. I think that for Sunbreak, especially if later on they really balanced with Spirit Birds in mind. But yeah, some monsters hit a bit too hard, but for the most part, they were fast enough, they were strong enough, and this actually makes you want to use the mechanics. For example, I have Wyvern Ride off, but what I do is, especially in some of the later fights, if I see those endemic lives in the wall near me, I'll take the Wyvern Ride. I'll just get an extra blight, some good damage. So I definitely think that it's worth using more of these mechanics. Rise was so easy, you didn't give a shit. You just destroy the monster anyway, who cares? But here, the difficulty is to a point where you actually appreciate these mechanics. Which is good, it's good to have... Oh, god damn it, my phone is listening to me again. God, they're spying on us. Anyway, yeah, I really like how they give more use to these mechanics. It's something I really appreciate. As for switch skill swap, god, I hate that name. I'm still a bit unsure about this. Honestly, I didn't use it that much. Throughout the game, I only use Charge Blade. Usually that's what I do. Then when it gets too farmy, I use Charge Blade and other weapons. So through the main game, and honestly had everything I needed in one slot. I just switched to use Axe Hopper. So I guess it's nice. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I like having... How do I put it? I love switch skills, but I think with switch skill swap, it's a bit too much. And I get that they tried to separate some of them. For example, with Light Bowgun you can have both Fanning Maneuver and the Silk Pine counter with the Wyvern shot, the Wyvern Blast, which is understandable. That would be quite a strong combo. But you can just swap it anyway. And you even have some skills that benefit from swapping, like Redirection, the other Dango that heals you. So being able to swap so much, for me, I don't know how to feel about it. I like the customization of the moveset, but I think having everything at your arsenal, or almost everything, is a bit too much. I like the decision of, should I use Axe Hopper here, counter pick performance? Should I use the Wyvern Blast counter? Should I use Fanning Maneuver? I really like those decisions. I think they make you prepare a bit more seriously for a hunt, and being able to use everything on the fly is just a bit... I mean, I guess, but... I don't know, I kind of would have preferred, honestly, for them to allow us to customize the silk binds to whatever slot, either the circle or the triangle, and we didn't have switch skill swap. I think that would have been what I preferred. It gives you more customization, but it doesn't allow you to use everything. I think it's just a bit too much. People may disagree. I like doing the swapping. It's fun. I like doing counter pick performance. The monster is down, I switch to Axe Hopper. It's awesome. It's awesome, but I feel like sometimes it's a bit too much. But I do believe that they may keep switch skills, but not this swap. This swap is a bit too much in my opinion, especially with the buffs like Redirection. I'm still not really used to it, haven't used it much, but I don't know, man, it's a bit busted if you can pull it properly, of course. But I mean, once again, it's nice to have the need for these skills. And I also like how there's also other things, other bonuses to making you stay in one scroll that benefit you if you stay in one scroll. I like that too. I don't know, I like some of the mechanics around it, I just don't like how we have everything at our arsenal. That's a bit... But it's fine for me. If they're a Sunbreak thing, I'm fine. But next, another new feature is the follower quests and support surveys. this tie a bit into the characters, which honestly the story was decent. I don't really play Monster Hunter for the story, so I didn't give much of a shit, honestly. But the characters were cool, some of the interactions were cool, but for me the issue is these quests are the same as multiplayer. Too much chaos, even with the reduced effects and whatnot, and then I also hate how the monster is just attacking everywhere and you don't know when it's going to attack you, so you're just kind of always expecting it, but you're not, and then they suddenly just hit you and you're done, especially if you're using a counter heavy weapon like Charge Blade. It's really annoying. So yeah, I liked them. The AI is super competent. They trap, they sleep bomb, they send flash bombs, they do a lot, but for me it's the same chaos as multiplayer, so that's my bigger issue with these quests. I did like them though, and I also liked how they had specific weapons and armor tied to these quests. I really appreciate it, and I think it's awesome. And the armor is quite good actually. I used a lot of those armor pieces for a lot of the game. Some of them are so efficient. There's one that has like guard up, load shells 2, artillery 1. That's ridiculous. Like because they're modeled after the characters and they're good for the weapon that the characters main. So when I got the one that kit for the Charge Blade, I mean, holy, I saw that set and I was like, well, I'm sold. So it's nice having these options, you know, the more variety the better. And I did like doing them, but it's not something I'll come back to. It's more so I've done all of them, put the check, and that's it. If I need to farm a specific monster, I'll do it myself. I prefer it that way. That's why I don't really play multiplayer. And speaking of farming, the master rank grind, I've seen a lot of people complain about this. I can complain, I haven't noticed. I'm 85 at the moment, I'm still not 100, but I'm 85 and I haven't even farmed master rank once. I'm just farming gear, making sets, doing some endgame content, decorations, all of that. That's what I'm doing and I'm already 85. So yeah, it can be a bit annoying, for example, if you only main one weapon, especially if it's a raw weapon, so you're only gonna make a couple of sets. Yeah, I can see why it would be annoying, but for the people who main multiple weapons, I don't believe it to be a concern, honestly. But that's just me. I've been enjoying and I keep forgetting there's the master rank grind. Honestly, like, it passes through me. But yeah, for a master rank grind, that's it. Just a quick note. But now, you do everything, you do the story, you start fighting the returning monsters and whatnot, and then you bump into afflicted monsters, which are... there's something else, I'd say so. First of all, they're super bloated in HP, they hit hard, but they give you Blood Blight, which is the one from Alzino, and they're kind of a mix between hyper and tempered monsters. So they'll have these curio parts in their body which you have to blow, because if not they'll do a nova. And honestly, I like them. I like the mechanic. First of all, I like the bloated HP. Some of them may have a bit too much for the monster. For example, I'd say Raknakadaki with Charge Blade is a pain because Impact is a bit weaker in terms of DPS than Elemental. She has garbage elemental hit zones. Her head is always behind their fucking claws, so it's hard to stun her. So it's a slugfest. And Rakna also already has a lot of HP by herself, especially afflicted. So some are more annoying, but for the most part I feel like their HP is fine. I'm still doing a lot of them in like 10, 8, 9 minutes. So it actually didn't change much in my opinion from normal in-game hunts. At least from Base Rise, I was also doing them at like 8, 9, 7 minutes. So I think they're mostly the same in terms of HP. People complain, I don't know, maybe these are people using an optimized sets and whatnot. They just came from the last boss, they're still not quite sure how to progress. But if you are using good sets with good DPS, I don't believe them to be that bloated in HP. I actually have more problems with the damage, and not just with afflicted monsters, with damage in general in this game. I don't know if it's balanced between spirit birds. I don't know if they thought the numbers were okay, but it's really annoying having to heal at like 70%. That for me is so fucking annoying, because the monsters hit so hard. If they catch you with a decent move, I'm not even gonna say the strongest moves, if they catch you with a decent move, you're dead from like 70 something, 80. I really think it's because of spirit birds. I think they balanced these endgame monsters around set optimization, so people using the best sets, and spirit birds, which I hate spirit birds, by the way. Since rival riding is not mandatory anymore, they're my most hated mechanic in the game right now. So yeah, I do believe they do a bit too much damage. It definitely gets annoying because you always have to heal, which is also why I use a ton of Blood Right. With afflicted monsters, it's not that bad because the Blood Blight can heal you if you play smart. But if it's just elders, they do a ton of damage, and you're like, well, and then they're so fast you can't heal, and you're like, well, if I wasn't getting one shot or two shot by most things, it would be a bit, it would not be as annoying, I'd say. But yeah, outside of her damage, I like it. They're also faster, so some monsters are more of a threat now. Speaking of Rachna Kadaki, afflicted Rachna moves so much, she doesn't stop still, and that's something I actually found a bit cool, because before she would just stay there, just breathing fire. She never hit us because we're so fast and we just keep welling on her. Now she moves a lot more, so it's cool that some of these monsters have revamped AI, I'd say. They move more and whatnot. Some of them also have new moves, which is also really cool, so they're not just bloated values. And it's also nice, I like having to target specific spots, and if I do garbage, they're like, well, goodbye. They do a Nova which guaranteed stuns you, it's almost always a KO. I like that. If you weren't able to burst the Curio, you're done. I really like it, I don't know, it's just fun. It gives me more motives than just hitting the head on every monster, you know. I have to go after their parts, and if they have wings, I need to use aerial to hit the wings. It's different, it's a different type of combat, and I actually really appreciate it. It's also cool how they give you materials to upgrade weapons. I also really like that. Gives you a bit of an endgame, which actually brings me to the diversity in these sets we have in endgame, which is insane. It's so much. I have been using so much shit, crafting so much armor, making so many sets. I have dereliction sets, I have heal sets, I have raw status, everything's good. It's so fun. In Rise, well, if you were using Charge Blade, it was Rojang or Nargakung, I guess. That was about it, the rest was not good. So it's really fun. Elemental was extremely buffed for a lot of weapons. Elemental SAD is actually meta now, it's so strong, holy shit. You're doing 600 per file sometimes. It's so good. With all the different armor sets like dereliction and whatnot, there's so many combinations that you can do. I feel like I'm always thinking of a new set. It's so awesome. Or just doing tweaks to sets. For example, before I was only doing sets with dereliction, but now it is afflicted monsters who hit super hard. I started mixing in some blood right, or just making straight up blood right, no dereliction. Yeah, I don't do as much damage, but I don't have to sheath and drink a potion, which is a huge DPS loss, so I may even be gaining DPS because I don't have to heal. You know, just so much stuff. Oh my god. I'm really enjoying farming all these sets. All the weapons are rarity 10 or most of them, so there's a lot of decisions between their slots, how strong they go, the rampage slots. Oh my god, it's the affinity and the sharpness. There's a lot of weapons that you need to invest in handicraft, but they're super strong, so it might compensate. There's so much. I'm really enjoying this, especially considering I play multiple weapons. Oh my god, it's so fun. It's so fucking fun. And the rampage decorations are also something I really like. I've always been of the opinion that weapons should be a bit more unique. And although initially I was thinking skills on weapons, with rampage decos, I mean, I like specific weapons to have specific skills, like for example, like in base Rise, how Teostra weapons had the Teostra Soul, which increased blast damage. Here any weapon can use Teostra Soul if they have the slots for it, so it kind of, weapons kind of lose a bit of uniqueness, but you have more diversity because you can use multiple blast weapons. You won't just use Teostra weapons for blast because they're the best, they do the most damage. So it does give you more diversity. I would have just liked if weapons were a bit more unique by themselves, but I'd say that rampage decorations are about the best we could get. Unless they'd have a skill and then a rampage slot, but I feel like that would be a bit too much actually. As for the decorations themselves, I mean, I'm not a big fan that most of them are just damage increases, honestly. Like the species, the anti-species decorations, that's a bit boring and how they're the most optimal in a lot of situations. But I do like some other decorations, like the Teostra one. I also love that defense grinder for Charge Blade. Oh my god, sharpening. When you guard, if your weapon has decent sharpness, you will keep it forever. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. If you have a weapon with sharpness, you can use that decoration and you'll never lose purple sharpness if you play properly. So, just different combinations, and I love that. I love that Element Exploit is a decoration that's also awesome. I really like it. And I really hope they bring more of that in title updates. Speaking of which, is actually the last thing I'll mention. The title updates, I like that they're in August, the first one at least. I feel like 1 month is enough for us to craft all our stuff, test different sets, get acquainted with the weapons. I really like that. So I hope it's early August, so when August drops, like, I don't know, first week, end of first week, beginning of second, then we'll have, I do believe we'll have more afflicted monsters. There's a lot of afflicted monsters missing, which is a shame. But we'll probably have more afflicted monsters. We'll have these new ones, Meta will shake again, maybe new decorations. Then we'll have another one in like September or something, or I think it's August, September or October, then winter and more in 2023. And oh my god, I can't wait. I love that. I love how they just give you more content here and there. Hey look, another couple of monsters. Hey look, here's more. A new arena. And I don't know why, but I feel like the updates, or at least one of them for 2023, will be kind of sizable. I really hope they give us a bit of a loop. And I think they will. I think there will be something in 2023 that will shake up Sunbreak. I don't know why, I just feel it. But yeah, overall, I really like this game. This game surprised me for the better. I was expecting just more Rise, but actually I heard someone say this, how Iceborne was an expansion to World, but that Sunbreak feels more so like a reboot of Rise. And I agree, I feel like they grabbed a lot of shit that was wrong with Rise, they changed it, they improved it, we enjoy it way more now, they added a lot of stuff, so I think this is truly how Rise should have been. which in a way kind of sucks because it's kind of bad that Sunbreak did this in a funny way, because imagine if they could do everything they wanted with Rise. Imagine how much better Sunbreak would be than what it is right now. Although it's already awesome, but imagine if they didn't have to spend so much time of production just to fix a lot of stuff on Rise. But yeah, I think that's about it. A bit longer than I wanted, but that's fine. I might make some build videos and shit. I've really been enjoying making builds. I've done a couple of cool ones, a bit different from norms, so maybe I'll post them here. I think that would be cool. And yeah, just keeping us afloat, doing some fun stuff until the next Startle update drops. But yeah, I already have a build that I've been using a lot. It's super fun, so I'll probably share it some days from now. But anyway, yeah, I believe that was it, and I'm gonna leave now because it's 40 degrees and I can't stand how hot it is, so I'm gonna take like the second shower of the day. Yeah, anyway, I'll catch you later. Peace.